What if I told you that your net worth is not a number in your bank account, but a reflection of your mindset? What if the real reason some people grow wealthy is not luck, inheritance, or connections, but the way they think, decide, and act every single day? The truth is this: your income can only grow to the extent that you grow. If you are ready to stop wishing and start becoming, then listen carefully. Before money ever changes, the mind must change. Before income rises, identity must rise. You cannot consistently earn beyond the level at which you see yourself. The world does not pay you according to your needs, it pays you according to the value you believe you can deliver. If deep inside you question your worth, you will unconsciously accept less pay, less opportunity, less respect. Not because you are incapable, but because you have not yet decided that you deserve more. Self-worth is the foundation of all wealth. When you increase your self-worth, you walk differently. You speak differently. You negotiate differently. You no longer shrink in rooms where you once felt small. You stop apologizing for your ambition. You stop doubting your potential. And when that internal shift happens, the external world begins to respond. Understand this deeply. You are not an accident. You are not random. You were created with intention. The Creator did not design you to live in limitation. You were given intelligence, creativity, and the ability to think, and that alone separates you from every other living thing on earth. When you begin to honor the gifts placed inside you, you honor the one who placed them there. Personal growth is an act of gratitude. When you read instead of wasting time, when you build discipline instead of excuses, when you develop skills instead of complaining, you are saying, I value the life I have been given. And that reverence for your potential awakens power within you. But here is the emotional truth many avoid. Low self-worth silently sabotages destiny. It whispers, you're not ready. It whispers, who do you think you are? It whispers, stay comfortable, stay small. And those whispers become financial ceilings. Growth demands confrontation. You must confront the version of yourself that settled, the version that feared criticism, the version that avoided responsibility. That confrontation is uncomfortable. It humbles you. It stretches you. But it also awakens strength you didn't know you possessed. When you increase your knowledge, you increase your confidence. When you increase your discipline, you increase your self-respect. And when you increase your self-respect, you refuse to accept average results. Financial growth becomes a byproduct of personal expansion. The marketplace rewards belief. Clients feel confidence. Employers sense conviction. Investors trust clarity. People are drawn to those who know their value. Not arrogance, but grounded certainty. And that certainty comes from growth. Growth in character. Growth in competence. Growth in faith. Faith is not passive hope. Faith is disciplined preparation. Faith says, I will develop myself because I trust that greater opportunities are coming. Faith says, if I have been given a vision, I have also been given the capacity to fulfill it. Every skill you master is a declaration that you refuse to waste your potential. Every early morning, every late night of study, every moment you choose discipline over distraction, you are building internal wealth long before financial wealth appears. And here is what touches the heart. When you elevate yourself, you elevate those connected to you. Your growth becomes provision. Your discipline becomes security. Your wisdom becomes guidance. Your children watch. Your family watches. The people around you are silently influenced by the standards you set. Increasing your self-worth is not selfish, it is responsibility. Because when you see yourself as valuable, you stop trading your time cheaply. You stop tolerating environments that diminish you. You stop shrinking your dreams to fit other people's comfort. You begin to think long-term. You begin to think in terms of legacy. And legacy is built by individuals who first decided they were worthy of more. Personal growth precedes financial growth because money expands who you already are. If you lack discipline, money magnifies chaos. If you lack confidence, money magnifies fear. But if you build character, wisdom, and faith, money magnifies impact. So increase your self-worth deliberately. Guard your thoughts. Feed your mind. Strengthen your character. Deepen your faith. And watch how the external world slowly begins to align with the internal transformation taking place within you. The marketplace is not emotional. It does not pay for intention. It does not reward desire. It compensates value. And value is created through skill. If you want your income to rise, your usefulness must rise. The world is constantly searching for solutions, and those who can provide them with excellence are never ignored for long. Competence commands attention. Expertise commands income. The tragedy is not that opportunities are scarce. The tragedy is that preparation is rare. High-value skills are built where most people refuse to go into focused practice, disciplined learning, and uncomfortable repetition. While others are distracted, the disciplined individual is sharpening their craft. While others complain about the economy, the wise are increasing their capability. The market does not ask where you came from. It asks what you can do. Can you communicate clearly? Can you solve complex problems? Can you lead people effectively? Can you build systems that produce results? These abilities are not inherited. They are developed. And development requires humility, the humility to admit you do not know enough yet. There is something deeply powerful about becoming excellent at something meaningful. It builds internal confidence. It strengthens identity. It removes the quiet fear of being replaceable. When you master a valuable skill, you no longer beg for opportunity. You attract it. And there is a spiritual principle in this. When you are faithful in developing what has been placed in your hands, more is entrusted to you. Growth follows stewardship. If you honor the talent you have been given by refining it, expanding it, and using it diligently, doors begin to open in ways you cannot always predict. Skill development is an act of responsibility. Every hour you invest in learning is an investment in your future security. Every book you read, every course you complete, every mentor you seek, you are strengthening your economic position long before the paycheck reflects it. Emotionally, this matters more than we admit. There is a quiet anxiety that lives inside many people, the fear of being left behind, the fear of being irrelevant, the fear of watching others advance while standing still. That fear disappears when you commit to growth. Competence eliminates insecurity. The individual who knows they can deliver results walks with calm confidence. They negotiate differently. They make decisions boldly. They are not shaken easily by rejection because they understand their capability. And the market recognizes this. Expertise creates leverage. The more rare and refined your ability, the less competition you face. Scarcity increases demand. When you develop skills that are difficult to replicate: strategic thinking, advanced technical knowledge, persuasive communication, leadership under pressure, your economic value rises naturally. But understand this clearly. High-value skills require sacrifice. They require turning off distractions. They require saying no to comfort. They require enduring moments of frustration and doubt. There will be nights when progress feels slow. Moments when you question whether the effort is worth it. Times when others seem to move ahead faster. That is where discipline separates the committed from the casual. The reward is not instant, but it is inevitable for those who persist. When you become excellent, you become needed. And those who are needed are compensated. Do not chase money directly. Chase mastery. Mastery pulls money toward it. When you focus on becoming the best at what you do, financial growth becomes a byproduct rather than the pursuit. Build skills that solve expensive problems. Build skills that improve efficiency. Build skills that create growth for others. When you increase someone else's revenue, productivity, or peace of mind, you increase your own value in the process. The marketplace always has room at the top for those who are prepared. And preparation begins today in quiet study, focused effort, consistent practice, and the relentless decision to become more capable than you were yesterday. Wealth is not built in moments of excitement. It is built in moments of control. Most financial mistakes are not caused by lack of intelligence. They are caused by unmanaged emotion. Fear sells too early. Greed buys too late. Impatience chases trends. Pride ignores warning signs. And impulse quietly erodes what discipline worked so hard to build. If you want your net worth to grow, your emotions must no longer sit in the driver's seat. The market moves up and down. Headlines create panic. Social media creates urgency. Everyone seems to know the next big opportunity. But wealth is rarely built by reacting. It is built by following a structured plan with calm consistency. Consistency is powerful because it removes drama from the equation. When you decide in advance how much you will invest, where you will invest, and how long you will stay committed, you free yourself from emotional turbulence. You no longer wake up each day wondering what to do. You execute the system you designed in clarity, not in fear. There is wisdom in restraint. It takes strength to hold steady when others are panicking. It takes maturity to avoid chasing quick gains. It takes patience to continue investing when results feel slow. But those who master restraint often master wealth. Impulsive decisions create temporary excitement. Disciplined decisions create permanent growth. There is also a spiritual principle here. Self-control is power. When you practice restraint with money, you strengthen your character. You prove to yourself that you are not ruled by impulse. You demonstrate stewardship over what has been entrusted to you. And stewardship brings increase. Money responds to structure. It grows in environments of order. It multiplies when managed intentionally. But in chaos, it disappears quickly. Emotional investing is chaos. Disciplined investing is order. Emotion says, this feels urgent. Discipline says, does this align with my long-term plan? Emotion says, everyone else is doing it. Discipline says, does this make sense based on fundamentals? Emotion says, I don't want to miss out. Discipline says, I don't chase, I prepare. When you invest consistently, you remove timing from the equation. You allow time itself to become your ally. Compound growth rewards patience more than prediction. The steady investor often outperforms the reactive one. And emotionally, this creates peace. There is a deep anxiety in constantly watching markets, constantly reacting, constantly fearing loss. But when you trust your system and commit to long-term consistency, your mind becomes calm. You stop living on financial adrenaline. You begin living with financial intention. Discipline also protects you from self-sabotage. Many people work hard to earn money, only to lose it through impulsive decisions. One emotional trade, one rushed investment, one reaction driven by fear or greed. Years of effort can disappear in a moment of weakness. But when you decide in advance that emotion will not control your financial future, you build resilience into your strategy. Understand this, wealth is not created by intensity. It is created by repetition. Small amounts invested consistently over time can outperform large, sporadic decisions driven by excitement. The power lies not in the size of the action, but in the reliability of the habit. Your future financial freedom depends less on dramatic moves and more on disciplined habits. Invest with clarity. Invest with patience. Invest with structure. And refuse to let temporary emotions dictate permanent decisions. If you only work for money, you will always be limited by time. But when you own assets, money begins to work for you. There is a profound difference between earning income and building ownership. Income feeds today. Ownership builds tomorrow. Income requires your presence. Ownership can grow even in your absence, and that difference changes everything. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket consistently. A business, investments, intellectual property, real estate, digital products, systems, equity. Assets create leverage, and leverage multiplies effort. Without ownership, you are trading hours for dollars. With ownership, you are building something that can produce beyond your personal energy. Time is finite. Leverage is not. The emotional truth is this. Many people work hard their entire lives but never build assets. They exhaust themselves serving systems they do not own. They create value for others but never secure ownership for themselves. That realization should awaken something inside you. Ownership represents control. It represents freedom. It represents stability for your family. When you own assets, you reduce dependence. You create optionality. You move from survival to strategy. There is also a spiritual principle in ownership stewardship. When you build something of value and manage it wisely, you honor the resources entrusted to you. When you multiply what you have instead of merely consuming it, you demonstrate responsibility. Growth follows those who handle small beginnings faithfully. Assets do not appear overnight. They are built intentionally. A business begins as an idea. An investment portfolio begins with one disciplined contribution. A property begins with a down payment saved through sacrifice. It requires vision, the ability to see beyond immediate comfort. It requires patience, the willingness to delay gratification. It requires courage, the readiness to take calculated risk. And yes, there will be fear. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of uncertainty. But ownership demands courage. The comfort zone rarely produces leverage. Those who build assets understand that risk managed wisely is a bridge to growth. Ownership also changes your mindset. You begin to think in terms of long-term value instead of short-term reward. You stop asking, how much can I earn this month? And start asking, what can I build that will produce for years? That shift alone elevates your financial trajectory. Assets create compounding opportunity. A business can scale. Investments can appreciate. Intellectual property can generate royalties repeatedly. When you own, growth becomes exponential instead of linear. Emotionally, this builds confidence. You are no longer entirely dependent on a paycheck. You know that something you built is producing. That knowledge creates stability in uncertain times. Ownership also creates legacy. Assets can outlive you. They can provide security for your children. They can fund opportunities for the next generation. They can represent years of discipline turned into lasting impact. Working for money is honorable. But building ownership transforms effort into enduring wealth. If you want financial leverage, begin thinking like a builder. Begin thinking like an owner. Ask yourself daily, what am I building? What do I own? What is growing beyond my immediate labor? Because when you shift from consumption to creation, from earning to owning, from spending to building, you move into a different financial dimension where effort multiplies and opportunity expands. Income is not determined by effort alone. It is determined by the size of the problems you are willing to solve. The marketplace does not measure how hard you try it, it measures how much value you remove from someone else's pain. The bigger the problem, the greater the reward. The more responsibility you carry, the more compensation follows. If you want to increase your income, increase your capacity to handle complexity. Small problems produce small pay. Large problems produce large pay. It is not personal. It is proportional. Most people avoid responsibility because it feels heavy. It stretches them. It exposes their weaknesses. It demands growth. But those who step forward when others step back are the ones who rise. Responsibility is not a burden. It is an opportunity disguised as pressure. When a company faces declining revenue, someone must fix it. When a team lacks leadership, someone must guide it. When a system is broken, someone must redesign it. The person who says, I will take ownership, becomes indispensable. Emotionally, this is where transformation happens. There is fear in stepping into bigger roles, fear of failing publicly, fear of not knowing enough, fear of being judged. But growth never occurs in comfort. Growth happens when you stretch beyond your previous limits, and there is a spiritual dimension to responsibility. You were not created to live a small life. You were given abilities for a reason. When you shrink from responsibility, you shrink from potential. But when you accept greater accountability, you align yourself with purpose. Purpose demands courage. The truth is simple. Income follows impact. The more lives you influence positively, the more systems you improve, the more efficiency you create, the more problems you eliminate, the more valuable you become. Value attracts reward. Think about leaders, innovators, entrepreneurs, experts. They are not paid merely for effort. They are paid for carrying pressure. They are compensated for making decisions that affect others. They accept consequences. They accept accountability. That acceptance elevates them. Responsibility builds strength. When you take on bigger challenges, you are forced to develop new skills. You learn to think strategically. You improve communication. You manage emotions under pressure. You grow in discipline and resilience. And as you grow internally, your external opportunities expand. Avoiding responsibility may feel safe in the moment, but long-term, it limits income and influence. When you raise your hand and say, "Give me the challenge," you signal ambition. When you deliver results consistently, you signal reliability. When you solve problems others cannot, you signal expertise. and the market rewards signals of competence and courage. The emotional trigger is this: do not let fear of failure keep you in small rooms. You are capable of more than your current responsibilities reflect. But capability is revealed only when tested. If you want higher compensation, seek higher contribution. Take initiative. Volunteer for complexity. Offer solutions before being asked. Each time you solve a problem slightly bigger than the last, you expand your capacity. Each time you carry more weight successfully, you increase your worth. Income rises with responsibility because responsibility proves readiness. When you demonstrate that you can be trusted with larger outcomes, larger rewards follow naturally. The greatest enemy of wealth is not poverty, it is impatience. We live in a world that glorifies speed, instant results, overnight success, immediate pleasure. But real wealth does not respond to urgency. It responds to patience. It responds to consistency. It responds to discipline sustained over time. Delayed gratification is the ability to say no today so you can say yes tomorrow. It is the strength to resist temporary pleasure for permanent progress. It is choosing investment over impulse, growth over comfort, vision over vanity. And this is where character is revealed. Anyone can spend. Anyone can indulge. Anyone can choose what feels good in the moment. But few can wait. Few can endure the slow, quiet process of compounding. Few can stay disciplined when results are invisible. Yet wealth is built in the invisible season, when you invest steadily without applause, when you save consistently without recognition, when you build skills patiently without immediate reward. You are planting seeds that will grow beyond what emotion can currently measure. Compounding is quiet but powerful. Money invested patiently grows on top of growth. Effort invested patiently produces opportunities on top of opportunities. Discipline practiced patiently creates confidence on top of confidence. The magic is not in dramatic action, it is in sustained action. Emotionally, impatience feels urgent. It whispers, "You deserve it now." It tempts you to compare your progress to others. It pressures you to accelerate beyond wisdom. But comparison destroys focus, and urgency destroys discipline. Patience protects your future. There is also a spiritual principle woven into delayed gratification. Growth follows those who can wait faithfully. Seasons exist for a reason. Harvest does not follow immediately after planting. There is a period of unseen development roots strengthening beneath the surface. Faith is trusting that growth is happening even when you cannot see it. When you delay gratification, you are exercising faith in your future. You are declaring that your long-term vision matters more than your short-term emotion. You are choosing wisdom over impulse, and that choice compounds. The emotional strength required is immense. There will be moments when others appear to move ahead faster, when friends upgrade lifestyles, when social media displays luxury and speed. In those moments, discipline feels lonely, patience feels slow, restraint feels restrictive. But remember this: appearances are temporary. Foundations are permanent. When you master delayed gratification, you build a foundation that cannot be shaken by trends or temptation. You create financial stability rooted in wisdom. You remove volatility from your life by refusing to chase fleeting satisfaction. Every time you choose to invest instead of spend, you strengthen your identity. Every time you resist impulse, you increase self-respect. Every time you stay committed to your long-term plan, you build momentum. Wealth does not require brilliance. It requires endurance. Small sacrifices today become significant rewards tomorrow. Modest investments today become substantial assets over time. Disciplined habits today become financial freedom later. Patience transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary outcome. Mastering delayed gratification is not about deprivation, it is about alignment. It is aligning your actions with your future self. It is honoring the life you are building instead of surrendering to temporary desire. And when you combine patience with consistency, you unlock the true power of compounding, where time becomes your partner, discipline becomes your advantage, and steady progress becomes unstoppable. Short-term thinking creates temporary income. Long-term thinking creates lasting wealth. Many people approach money emotionally and reactively. They focus on this month's income, this week's opportunity, today's fluctuation. But sustainable net worth is not built on reaction. It is built on strategy. Strategy requires vision. When you think long-term, you stop asking, how much can I make quickly? And begin asking, what can I build that will endure? That shift changes your financial destiny. Short-term thinking chases trends. Long-term thinking builds foundations. Trends fade. Foundations remain. Wealth that lasts is intentional. It is structured. It is patient. It is designed with years in mind, not days. Emotionally short-term thinking feels exciting. It gives quick wins. It satisfies the ego. But it also produces instability. When your focus is narrow, every setback feels like failure. Every delay feels threatening. Every loss feels devastating. Long-term thinking creates emotional stability. When you operate with a 10-year vision, one bad month does not shake you. One slow season does not discourage you. You understand cycles. You respect time. You allow strategy to unfold. There is a spiritual principle embedded in long-term thinking faith in process. Faith is not blind optimism. It is disciplined consistency anchored in vision. It is trusting that steady action aligned with purpose produces eventual reward. Just as a tree grows slowly but surely, so does sustainable wealth. You do not dig up a seed every week to check if it is growing. You water it. You protect it. You wait. Thinking long-term requires maturity. It demands that you resist impulsive decisions that sabotage your future. It forces you to consider consequences beyond immediate gratification. It aligns today's actions with tomorrow's outcomes. Ask yourself powerful questions. Will this decision strengthen me 5 years from now? Will this investment still make sense a decade from now? Is this expense building value or just satisfying emotion? These questions shift your behavior dramatically. Long-term strategy also compounds results. When you invest consistently for years, the growth accelerates. When you build a reputation over time, trust multiplies. When you refine your skills steadily, expertise deepens. Time rewards those who respect it. Emotionally, this requires patience and resilience. There will be seasons where progress feels invisible. There will be moments where others appear to move faster. But speed is not the goal, sustainability is. Fast wealth can disappear quickly. Steady wealth builds security. Long-term thinkers build systems. They diversify wisely. They protect capital. They prepare for downturns. They plan for legacy. They consider family, stability, and impact. They understand that net worth is not just a number, it is the result of thousands of aligned decisions over time. Every disciplined choice today shapes your financial reality tomorrow. Every strategic action plants seeds for future growth. Every year of consistency compounds into strength. When you think long-term, you remove desperation from your decisions. You move with clarity instead of urgency. You build patiently instead of reacting impulsively. Sustainable net worth is not an accident. It is the product of vision, faith, discipline, and consistent execution stretched across time. And those who commit to that perspective position themselves for financial strength that does not merely rise, but endures. Your net worth is not fixed. It is fluid. It is growing or shrinking based on your daily decisions. You are not limited by your current income. You are limited only by your current thinking. Raise your standards, raise your discipline, raise your value. And as you grow internally, your financial world will have no choice but to follow.